Let's call this August 6th board meeting to order.
April.
April? What did I say, August?
August.
August,
Wishful
April.
thinking.
Wishful thinking. Seems like it's getting warmer. Check my water, it appears to be just water. Could you take roll?
Sure. Colonel Evans?
Here.
Mr. Grozan?
Here.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Here.
Mr. Miko?
Here.
Mr. Naso?
Here,
All present.
stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance. District goals. We have 3 district goals. The first being student achievement, the second being financial prudence, and the third is community involvement or commitment. Every decision we make on this very short agenda tonight will relate to those goals, and we stick by them, and we're proud of them. Public comment? We have none.
I
Superintendent's
think
report.
that lady is a rabble-rouser that's
There is one rabble-rouser, 2 rabble-rousers in the crowd today. Superintendent's report?
Before we go to the human resource report, Mr. Naso, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Anagnostou for a few comments.
Thank you, Mr. Ryba. I didn't have a.
I don't believe he's on the agenda.
It's not.
That's why I asked Mr. Ryba to turn it over to me at the time.
He yielded his floor.
Oh, he
So,
yielded.
so I just wanted to update the board and the community. Yesterday, I had the privilege to testify in Columbus to the House of Representatives Full Finance Committee on the impact of the TPP funding that the governor's budget has. I was one of 3 other treasurers that spoke to the legislators on the impact of TPP. The other 2 were from St. Bernard Elmwood, which is down the Cincinnati area, Solon City Schools, and then another treasurer, but he didn't represent his district. He represented the coalition that we went down there with. It was called the CFFO, Coalition of Fiscal Fairness of Ohio. The testimony was similar to what Mr. Ryba gave to the Finance Subcommittee. And I also was able to talk to Representative Patton while I was down there as well. I gave him a copy, and he told me that they are trying to work on it, and we have their attention. And couldn't guarantee anything, but he said we do have their attention, and they're trying to make something happen. So we'll see what happens. We don't. Again, he couldn't promise anything. He just said they're working on it, and it will be for a lack of effort. Also, what I wanted to point out again, we've touched on it. I went down and spoke. Cameron went down and spoke. Citizens also have the opportunity to make their voices heard. Contact our local reps. Their contact information is there on the board. We have it on our website, and we also have the templates of the letters on our website as well that citizens can put their information in. Then I'll add additional information as they see fit. So I just wanted to give that update.
Excellent. Did you get many questions, or were they engaged?
They were engaged. I didn't get any questions myself, but before me, the treasurer of Solon City Schools went. He got their share of the questions. And then also at the end, the representative that spoke, Mike Sobel, they're more familiar with him, so they saved some of their questions for him, who went last.
Excellent. Well, good job, thank you. And we've got to keep our voice up and make sure they hear us.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
I did have the opportunity to email back and forth with Mr. Pecana, the Solon Schools treasurer, earlier today, and he did extend our thanks, his thanks, not only to George, but also to Cameron for the fine job they did representing our interests in Columbus.
Excellent.
We need to keep the pressure up. We need to, all the parents that are out there, please take the time to email or write a letter and keep the pressure on them. Otherwise, out of sight, out of mind.
Thank you, George. And, I just wanted to thank, Ken's here for allowing me to go to City Council on Monday night to share. Both Ken and the mayor allowed me to come share our story with City Council. Obviously, they're going to support the efforts with communicating to our legislature, and the mayor also graciously offered to go down to Columbus and testify with us to share not only the impact on the schools, but the impact on the city. And so I know George has shared that with the group, that as we start to plan for the Senate testimony, which will happen sometime in May, that we would be willing to do that. And as George has talked to Representative Pat and I have as well, Senator Dolan's folks and I are talking about setting up, or in communication, trying to set up a meeting prior to the budget bill getting to the Senate. So again, we're continuing on all fronts to have our voices heard. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our Assistant Superintendent, Jenny Pelko, with the Human Resource Report.
Thank you, Mr. Ryba. Good evening. I have one item for your consideration under Human Resources. We have a reduction in force for our non-certificated staff. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent that the position of Clerk 2, Audiovisual Technology Department, be abolished as a result of reorganization for a more efficient operation. Be it further resolved that the affected employee will be placed on a reduction in force status per Article 13 of the negotiated agreement for a period of 24 months. And that concludes my report.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you,
Still
Richard.
Lent, isn't it? Second.
Still is. I have a second. Thank you, Duke. Any discussion? Well, this falls under financial prudence, and we will take a vote.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes.
Motion passes.
And that concludes my report.
Okay. Item 7, Board of Education Other. Richard?
I just had one, and I just wanted to remind the community, the Strongsville Optimist Club is having their reverse raffle on April 8th. The grand prize is $3,500. 25% of the people in attendance last year walked away with gifts or prizes or a really good time. So it's April 8th at Mashaw's, and you can contact the StrongsvilleOptimistClub.com for more information.
What's that?
I just
Okay.
wanted to commend our academic challenge team. Last Saturday, our Strongsville kids won. They beat the heck out of 2 other schools and looked really sharp and really smart. And so tribute to Mr. Dietrich from the high school and the 3 gentlemen that represented us, and was well done. And I know we've had a lot of other groups that have also been recognized. Music today was recognized as being one of the best programs in the nation. So we have a lot of good things going in our school system we should be proud of.
We need to continue to work hard, keep that funding for all those
That's
wonderful
right.
extracurricular activities, so our kids mature and learn from those activities.
I do have one other, and I think you'll like this other. You won't like this other, but I didn't want to really get you fired up with this other, but I'm going to.
Okay.
I think we need to make a better effort on the big flag at the stadium that we got donated. We're flying a little flag on a pretty regular basis, and I would just wonder if we could look into this. Maybe, I know it's difficult. One guy can't handle that flag, the big flag. It's just too big. So we need, maybe there's a way we can do it. And I'm not saying every day because it's a very expensive flag and you don't want it to wear out or whatever you're going to do with it, right? But I think big events, like when we have multiple teams there, it would be nice to have that big flag up, because we had the elite track meet, and there were 9 different schools there, and I looked up and saw that little flag, and it just didn't look right at the top of that flagpole. And nobody else noticed. The other schools just look at it and see a flag, but when you know with the big flag that could be up there, it was difficult. And I talked to the gentleman who put it up, and he said, I can't, it was too windy for him to handle it by himself. But maybe we can find, like, I think we have some Air Force ROTC guys who might be willing to fly that flag for us, or someone who might be able to give them a hand, but that's all. Just if we could look into that.
We
And
can.
the man was the gentleman who flew the other flag was very kind and very, should I get it? It's like, no. If you can't handle things by yourself,
Right.
then don't go get it, But that wasn't the point of it. It was
Okay.
just, I was just trying to
Absolutely.
find out. But if we could figure that out, that'd be great. Does anybody else have anything else? And with that, executive session. We do have a need for executive session tonight on employee compensation, I believe. or
We have a
employee-
handful of items, Mr.
Oh, we do?
Naso. Yep. To consider the employment or dismissal of a public employee or official, to consider the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, to review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees, and to consider matters required to be kept confidential by law or regulations of the state statute.
So moved.
Thank you, Duke.
Second.
Second. Richard. Any discussion? Take roll.
Colonel Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Miko?
Yes.
Mr. Naso?
Yes,
Mr. Grozan?
Yes.
Mrs. Ludwig?
Yes.
Enter an executive session at
7:15.
7:15.
I don't believe there are any public business afterwards, so thank you.
Thank you for coming.
You get home before the snow.